Good evening. We begin tonight in Buckeye, where a shelter-in-place order has been lifted after a chemical spill earlier today led to a large toxic plume. We first brought you the dramatic images live from Sky 12 during 12 News at 6. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and officials say the area is now safe. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono talked to fire officials and has more on what happened.
It happened here at the Thatcher Company of Arizona, which according to its website is a chemical manufacturer and distributor. And a spill of one of those chemicals, nitric acid, led to a bad reaction that officials describe as toxic.
Today is day one, we just closed.
Moving days are typically long with unexpected difficulties.
Well, it's been a long day.
But Ben Zahari never could have planned for this.
I had no idea we were this close to some type of chemical plant. When I pulled up, I thought it was some type of accident. I thought somebody might have passed away. I called my wife right away, and I was like, "Are you okay?" Because she was ahead of me. She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I can't get home."
Unable to get to their new house because of a chemical spill at a nearby building. Thatcher Company of Arizona. Officials say an employee was filling a commercial vehicle with nitric acid. Around 200 gallons leaked into a retention basin designed for spills.
In that basin, there was metal, which is part of the drainage. That chemical has a reaction to that metal, which was what caused that big orange plume.
The toxic plume leading to a shelter-in-place order for nearby residents, as around 80 fire personnel worked to contain it.
It is very deadly in its deep concentration. So our crews, when they go in, they wear a full level A hazmat suit.
By 7 o'clock, the chemical reaction was under control, and no injuries or illnesses were reported.
I always want to be cautious, but they told us that it's safe to get home, so we're trusting that, they're doing their job.
Zahari is thankful the leak is contained, excited to start this new chapter after a moving day he will never forget. A memorable first day.
Definitely.
And in addition to neighborhoods, this area does have a lot of land and livestock, so fire officials tell me they've contacted the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality to help determine the environmental impact. We're in Buckeye. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Okay, Bianca, thanks. Well, the weekend is upon us, and we're tracking the chance for some monsoon storms, possibly in the valley late tomorrow afternoon. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here with your weather impact forecast. Linz, what do we need to know?
Well, tomorrow we have a pretty good chance at getting some rain, and I'm going to show you our exclusive 12 News monsoon meter just to get us started. I have us as a 4 tomorrow here in the valley. What's going to happen is early in the afternoon, thunderstorms are going to fire up out toward the White Mountains and along the rim, and they are going to move toward the valley by the late afternoon, early evening. So some of those thunderstorms arriving in the valley later in the day. We also have the chance for some blowing dust. It'll be a sunnier day and dry out in western Arizona. The 5s for northern Arizona and southeastern Arizona just showing about a 50% coverage. Few storms tomorrow could become severe. Damaging wind gusts would be our primary threat. Notice here in the valley tomorrow, it's going to be a mostly cloudy day, but morning lows after today, we've reached 117 today, are only going to drop off to about 93. So it's going to be extremely hot early in the day. Highs getting above 105 with that late day shower or storm. Right now, we're still at 100 degrees and we'll drop to the low 90s over the next 7 to 8 hours. Mark?
Hey, Linz, thanks. We're following developing news in the ongoing saga to bring NHL hockey back to the desert. The state land department today abruptly scrubbed an auction next week of North Phoenix land where former owner of the Arizona Coyotes planned to build a new hockey arena. 12 News has learned that yesterday the land department sought confirmation from the city of Phoenix that the site was zoned for a sports arena. The answer came back no. Now the land department wants former team owner Alex Murillo to go through the lengthy process of getting a special use permit from Phoenix to build an arena. A Valley land use attorney with decades of experience on major projects says it appears the land department got cold feet about the future of the project.
If you're selling your house to someone and you're not positive at the end of the day they're going to be able to close the transaction for whatever reason, it may give you pause, it may give you cold feet to enter into that transaction. And sometimes the hesitancy is actually a safer path and a more reasonable path especially when you're dealing with a state asset.
Morello sold the Coyotes to a Utah owner after the land auction was approved. The NHL gave him a 5-year window to reactivate the Coyotes franchise if he could build an arena. The Coyotes tweeted their response to the canceled auction, saying, "The unprecedented action by the state of Arizona seriously jeopardizes the future of NHL hockey returning to the desert." This next story may be difficult to watch. You may remember this dramatic video of a house on fire after an hours-long standoff with a barricaded suspect in Surprise. Police have now released harrowing new video of the moments that officers rushed in to try to save a baby that was being held inside. Tonight, 12 News journalist Sean Rice walks us through what that video shows.
My baby's inside. He's gonna kill my baby.
It's the call a woman named Allie made to police in a panic as she escaped from this home in Surprise last month. A short time later, police arrived and were met with a barrage of gunfire from Todd Marchetti, the child's father, within 10 minutes of arriving on scene. Officers breached the front door, earnestly sweeping the home, searching for 7-month-old Jackson. Room by room, officers entered with their rifles drawn. The infant was found with multiple gunshot wounds, and one officer ran in a dead sprint out of the home and handed the baby to a fellow officer. Baby Jackson was airlifted to Children's Hospital in Phoenix. An hours-long standoff with Marchetti ensued. Flames engulfed the home with Marchetti inside. Police saying he died by suicide inside the home as the walls of the home caved in. Sean Rice, 12 News.
Sean, thanks. Baby Jackson's family has said he is making strides towards a full recovery after undergoing 3 surgeries. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. As Chandler tries to clamp down on teen violence, a city ban on brass knuckles will go into effect Monday for those under 18. Under the law, juveniles will not be allowed to own or purchase the weapon, and businesses or individuals who break the law can be charged with a Class 1 misdemeanor. A statewide ban circled the legislature earlier this year, but then died in the state Senate. Meanwhile, 12 News has learned that an alleged member of the so-called Gilbert Goons has been arrested twice this month on unrelated charges. On June 12th, Gilbert police say Deleon Haynes was arrested for entering a home that he had previously been kicked out of. And then today, he was arrested for allegedly making verbal threats. Back in January, Haynes appeared in court on charges related to an attack outside a Gilbert In-N-Out. He pled guilty to the charges earlier this month and received probation and hundreds of hours of community service. Gilbert police say he is currently being held by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office on these new charges. A new fire, the Ghost Fire, sparked this afternoon just outside of Apache Junction and forced evacuations of Lost Dutchman State Park and the popular tourist attraction Goldfield Ghost Town. In the past hour, 12 News has learned that all evacuations have been lifted. Forestry officials say the fire has burned 88 acres so far with no containment. Earlier this evening, we brought you live coverage of the firefight, and tonight, 12 News journalist Jonathan McCall shows us the impact that it's having.
Tonight, there is not an official cause on exactly what sparked the Ghost Fire Friday afternoon just outside of Apache Junction. But there is some good news tonight. Arizona Forestry telling 12 News that fire crews have managed to stop forward progress on this fire at just under 90 acres. From Sky 12, you could see the thick black smoke filling the skies in the East Valley after the Ghost Fire sparked. Crews working quickly to stop the flames from spreading from both the air and on the ground. Bone-dry conditions, extreme heat, and gusty winds making the firefight for crews more difficult. 12 News learning from fire crews on scene, the Ghost Fire sparked on a property Friday afternoon along Highway 88 near Apache Junction and quickly spread, jumping the highway, forcing ADOT to close Highway 88 and prompting evacuations of nearby Lost Dutchman State Park and Goldfield Ghost Town.
The roads were closed because there was a fire, and they didn't say anything. They just told us to turn around. So we waited here for like an hour or so.
This family from 3 Points drove 2 hours to camp for the weekend at Canyon Lake when they ran into a road closure. After waiting for 3 hours, they said they're not sure if they'll continue to wait for the scene to clear or make the journey back home.
My brother's actually up there right now, and I don't know what he's going to do. And then I have another brother who hasn't came yet because we told him what happened. He doesn't want to come out here for nothing.
So far, there have been no reports of any injuries or any reports of structures being damaged or destroyed from Friday afternoon's fire. Arizona Forestry telling 12 News tonight that there will be fire crews on scene overnight monitoring hot spots and also just making sure that nothing flares back up because of the intense heat from those flames earlier today. As for this area, we're also told that there's no timetable on when ADOT will reopen Highway 88 to traffic again. We're just outside of Apache Junction. Jonathan McCall, 12 News.
All right, Jonathan, thanks. Earlier today, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, along with Utah Senator Mitt Romney, introduced new bipartisan legislation called the Ember Act. The goal is to help communities across the Southwest better manage wildfires. Last year alone, over 176,000 acres burned in Arizona, damaging homes and forests and even businesses. If it passes, the Ember Act would allow FEMA to reduce or even waive cost-sharing requirements for planning and recovery. The bill would also expand targeted grazing and wildfire response training.